welcome to Women Be Talk. Uh-oh, shoot, it's Chrissy. Crap. Welcome to Chrissy Be Talking. I'm Chrissy.
Get it wrong, it's my song. You can go and sing your song. My song, and stay strong, 'cause I believe in my song. You can sing along, but it's my song.
I may add sound effects there, but I'm still gonna stick to my thing that I was saying where I'm trying not to do so much editing. I have things to talk about. First things first, the first thing on my mind is, what is this guy, Tariq? The first thing on my mind is how Tariq Nasheed, okay, let me just tell you the story, because I'm going to make the title of this video, Tariq Nasheed blocked me and ruined my child's breakfast. So here's what happened. So actually, let me go back. So I heard of Tariq Nasheed because of, I'm interrupting my thought. I just want you to know there's a bigger issue here than just some random, guy who I don't know blocking me. But I'm going to get to that. So I heard of Tariq Nasheed because this other guy and I were having this conversation as I was driving to Texas, and I could tell he wasn't, I used to teach history, and my minor is in history. And so then I like history. It's one of my things. And so I was having this sort of debate with this guy, and he was telling me all of these facts about African history, but he was saying it like out of order. And he actually, you could tell he wasn't like a history sort of guy. So when he was doing it, he was like saying things. And when people do that, I can tell that they've obviously heard someone who had more information than them, and they're sort of regurgitating it. And you know what, truth be told, I think that's what happened with Nick Cannon. Like, you could tell when he said that thing about melanin and black people and compassion, he basically was sort of, he heard it, he understood it, but he didn't know enough information to explain it in a way where people who have more information can go, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So this guy was telling me all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, you should listen to him. His name is Tariq Nasheed. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's telling me about this documentary called Hidden Colors and all these things. So I have this long drive ahead of me, and so I listened to Tariq Nasheed, like hours and hours of his podcasts and stuff, and it was like hit and miss. Like, a lot of the things that he said, I really agree with. And a lot, I didn't. But I don't have to just agree. Like, I don't have to agree with everything someone says in order to follow them or support them. Because I think, like, where your heart is at makes a difference. And then, of course, I'm the judge of where I think someone's heart is when I decide to support them. So anyway, so another thing that I liked about Tariq Nasheed is that he says things that I hadn't heard other places, because I'm like in a liberal bubble. I try to step out of my liberal bubble in order to know how other people are feeling. But like for example, my favorite people on YouTube that I watch the most are probably like Cal Kalinske and the Humanist Report. And it's like, and you can tell, like TYT, Kyle, Mike Figueredo, they'll have the same story, packaged in different ways. And even everybody does that. It's like, you can tell that, I know they're not talking amongst each other, but the same way a mainstream media outlet will have the same story, they do too. I'm not mad at it. It's just, that's the way it is. But Tariq Nasheed will have different stories, that, like, things I hadn't heard of. Like, one, it was so funny. He had this guy with this perm. This black guy with this perm ponytail, and he was talking about how racism was over because he got a white wife. So anyway, he'll have things like that. And he had another show where he talked about this guy. Now, mind you, I saw this in mainstream media. I also saw it in like my little left bubble where they were promoting this black militia, right? And I did think it was odd when I saw a soundbite of the guy saying that he had met with Russia. And I thought, that's odd, but I didn't think anything of it. Well, Tariq Nasheed went and showed how this guy was a bodyguard or something for Donald Trump. So it's like he was planting him to be this, black nationalist and with a militia, but really he's an operative. So anyway, things like that made me really enjoy listening to Tariq Nasheed, even though there are a lot of things that I don't agree with that he says. But it's like I can respect your opinion and not agree with what you say. And I don't think a lot of people can do that. Obviously, Tariq Nasheed cannot. Anyway, so, but let me just say, I think that is the biggest problem with society that we have at this moment. I may do a whole separate video about it because everyone lives in their bubbles and they are at this place where if someone does not agree with them, they're 100% canceled. They're blocked, they're canceled. Like Amanda Seales had this funniest video where she's like, blocked, I got time today. And she goes blocked and blessed. And basically the gist of it is, she's going and she'll read comments and then she will block people who she doesn't agree with. Fine. However, that is part of the problem. Let me go. Let me tell the story. So, in the olden days, I would have edited right there, and that's why I edit so much, because like my hair is in my face, and I gotta take a breath because I talk too fast. But I'm not gonna edit. Okay, story time. So it's Sunday night, and Sunday is my day my night to get everything ready, sort of for the week. I organize, get my son's breakfast and stuff together like the night before, because I'm not a morning person, but he is. And he has to be at school at 8 o'clock in the morning, even though it's online. So I don't understand why he has to be at school at 8 o'clock, but whatever, you want him there, fine. I will make sure he's fed. But I get everything ready the night before so that when he goes, he gets up, he has breakfast and everything prepared. So I'm going around, straightening up things and just making sure his little areas together. And I'm listening to Tariq Nasheed, and he's making great points about, police officers and just what's going on right now, right? So he made a really good point, and I wanted to retweet it. And so I go to Twitter. Twitter's like my best friend. So I go to Twitter, and I'm trying to @ him to retweet this thing he said about, I can't remember the term, but it was like, don't fight, don't fuss, don't resist, something, where the gist of it was, don't say anything. Like, I think that, I don't want to get up to get the quote right now. I might put it on the screen if I remember, but it wasn't like the whole anti-black trope of they should be more polite. It wasn't that, because I don't like that. It was more like, hey, let's be smart. You're not gonna not get arrested, so just zip it up, don't resist, go with the cops, call your lawyer. Anyway, he said a lot. So anyway, I thought I wanted to retweet it. So I go to look, and I can't find his page. And I'm like, So I even type on YouTube. I'm like, oh my goodness, what happened to your Twitter page? Mind you, I'm thinking that Twitter has blocked him. I'm thinking that Twitter has blocked him for something he said, because I had another friend who got suspended. So I'm thinking someone has blocked Tariq Nasheed from Twitter. How dare they? I'm mad, right? Because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to tweet about this. I'm going to send this to one of my Rose friends, and we are going to get this popping. Because you don't get to block Tariq, because he just because he's saying what he wants to say, right? I'm mad. Okay, so what I wanted to do, I was trying to find his Twitter, but it's like I couldn't find it. So then I'm continuing watching or listening while I clean up, and then he shows this video of, it was actually interesting, he shows this video of this protest in North Hollywood or whatever, and he said he saw this guy with a gun, and then he went over to the guy, and he's like, what's up? And then the guy flashes his badge, and so he shows, and it was, again, something else that, people are talking about this, but it's just like in person, you see it with your own eyes, that it's like this cop around these white supremacists, whatever. So in the corner of that, I see his Twitter handle. So I write it down. I stop cleaning, stop organizing, stop getting my son's stuff together for the next day to write down Tariq Nasheed's Twitter handle so I can give it to my Rose crew. Man, we're gonna go at it. I'm ready. So I put it into Twitter, and it says that I was blocked. For real, my feelings are hurt. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not like I'm not like too cool for school. I'm not too cool to admit that it hurt my feelings. And it's because it's him. Because I get blocked so much from Twitter. It's crazy how much I get blocked. I'm used to it. But it's like I don't get blocked by people who I generally think we have the same ideas. Generally. Like, there are things that I don't agree with him at all about, but it hurt my feelings when he blocked me because I thought that he was sort of like intellectually above that, because I know why he blocked me. Well, I don't really know, but I'm making an assumption. But let me talk about why, because people I remember, and I don't have to remember, it happens. It's like all the time people are like, you're a Trump supporter, blocked. I don't talk to Trump supporters. I don't talk to them. I don't care. And it's like you wonder why we lose elections because you don't care and you don't want to talk to people and you don't want to listen to the other side, and you're automatically saying that they're automatically racist because they support Trump, but you wonder why we lose elections. I am not like a big sports person, but I know enough to know that sports teams study the other team. They don't say, oh, I'm not going to look at the video of their game that they had because they're not a good team. They don't. They watch the video because they want to know what they're going to do for their offense or defense or whatever, I don't know, whatever the sports term is. But that's just what you do. And that whole let's block and get rid of all the thoughts of people who are different than me, it's like the root of the problem. Twitter. So on Twitter the other day, I might put it up, this girl, it was funny, she put something on there. She was like, I blocked my brother for being a racist. And so then I responded something witty because I'm funny. But anyway, I responded something like, oh, you definitely have to love your brother, but you don't have to be Twitter friends with him. And so people were responding to me saying, hey, no, you don't need to associate or be around anyone who has bigoted or racist views. And even if they're related to you. And people were like, you pick your family. And I'm like, okay, but you don't. Like, the reality is you don't pick your family. Like, you can. Like, and I'm the queen of that. A lot of my friends are closer to me than my blood family. However, you don't pick your family. It just is what it is, right? They're your close friends that you make your family, but other people are still your family. And you wonder why we lose elections. Because it's like, how do I say, there's a loyalty that you have within your family. And people want to talk about staying on code and all of this, but there's a loyalty that you have within a family. And I feel like my team, my left team, and people like Tariq, it's like, you guys don't accept people in your family who have different perspectives than you. Like, it's one thing to, like, if someone's like, I don't know, diametrically opposed to him, or doesn't want to support him, or calls him a name, then okay, now that's, I get it. Like, you don't need to expose yourself to that. But it's like, I'm following you on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. I'm following you on Twitter. I follow you on YouTube. I'm clearly watching and engaging in your stuff because there's something about you I want to watch. It's not like what is that word? I'm not trolling you. There are some people I troll. Like, I troll like Joy Reid. That's the only one I think that pops off of my head of someone that I troll. I'm sure there's more. But there are people that I troll, but he wasn't one of them. Like, I genuinely enjoyed watching his videos. Of course, he'll probably never see this. Like, of course, wait, okay, let me say. So, I'll tell you why I think he blocked me. But, I, of course, blocked him back. Because I'm petty. Like, I used to have low self-esteem. And so one of the things, once I sort of gained self-esteem for myself, one of the things that really helped me, and it makes my life happy and smooth, and like things just go okay for me, is one of my principles is, I don't fuck with people who don't fuck with me. Excuse my French. I don't. So, like, he don't mess with me, I don't mess with him. So, it hurts me because I do enjoy his content, but I'll be fine. I discovered, like, Boyce Watkins. I think probably because I watched him, and so Dr. Boyce Watkins would pop up. And I don't agree with everything Dr. Boyce Watkins says, but, I support him. I support his channels. And sometimes if there's ways that I can help in, like, monetarily, I do that. But I don't have to agree with every single thing you say. But you should have enough discernment to know if someone is, diametrically opposed to your vision, or like opposed to you as a human. And then if they're in your family and y'all have different opinions. And that's why I really enjoyed watching the People's Party convention this weekend, because it was just like people with different opinions, and they were able to say them. And I'm sure that everybody doesn't agree with everything. In fact, I know they don't, because it's like in the same convention, they're saying diametrically opposed thing, but the overall vision is the same. And I like stuff like that. But anyway, let me just say why he blocked me. He blocked me because what I think is that basically I can't go back and read it. I actually have like a Twitter that I could use, but I'm not going to do it. My pride won't let me. I'm done, because he's never going to see this. So like, he would have to be like, hey, Chrissy, I'm sorry. And if he doesn't do that, I'll never follow him again, and I'm sure he won't, because he's like sort of like an alpha male, very, and that's one of the things that I dislike about him, but not enough that I would have blocked him or stopped supporting him if he wouldn't have blocked me. But whatever. Okay. He blocked me because he had wrote something about Kamala Harris, like basically saying something to the effect that she picks and chooses whether she's black. So I don't know if he wrote it or one of his followers wrote it. And so then I responded to it saying, hey, don't criticize Kamala for her race. If you must criticize her, can you do it because of her record? And even with that, I'm going to have to think that through too. She's my soror, so it doesn't really matter. But as far as just my thought process and being consistent, because I have to think that through, because she was a prosecutor and her job was to prosecute. So I have to think that one through. But anyway, so I responded like, hey, you can't, I responded saying you can't say she's picking and choosing when to be black, because when she graduated from high school, she chose to go to a HBCU. I didn't go to an HBCU. And nobody can ever say I'm anything but black. A foundational black American. I say that because one of the other things Tariq Nasheed says that I really enjoyed is it was like that he said foundational black Americans. That's a term that he uses for people who like grew up in this country. And I think it's good because as a foundational black American, I do notice that there are differences, not better or worse, but there's differences between black people who have different heritages and people who are like from the South or from the North or from wherever. And I think it's good because then you don't have to lump us all in together, because we are unique and we have different upbringings. And I keep digressing. So look, he blocked me because I responded that, hey, she went to a black college and then joined a black sorority. So you can't say that she did that because she thought that 30 years later she was going to be a vice presidential nominee. She just didn't. Like, you can't, no one is able to answer that for me. Like, no one who says, oh, she picks and chooses when she wants to be black. Okay, then answer for me. Did she have a time machine? Like, what was it, if she's picking and choosing, that made her decide to go to a HBCU and also join a black sorority? She didn't have to do that. They have Indian sororities. And then whatever. And so anyway, after that, I responded that, and then the guy never responded, and I'm assuming this is like probably a month ago. I just noticed that I was blocked, so he probably blocked me a while ago. But anyway, that's why he blocked me, because he's closed-minded and he's typical of people who cannot accept people who have different opinions than them. And that's sad, and that's why we lose elections, and that's why we don't have, it's like even in his bubble, it's like you don't understand that we need each other. And when I say we, I don't just mean black people. Yeah, we don't just need black people. Like, we, like-minded people, need each other. And we, humans, all of us, are going to have people we have different opinions than, but we can, and that's why what I would say is like a family. So it's like we can have a different opinion, we can stay on code, we can, stay on code and still have different opinions without degrading each other or like blocking people who have different opinions that make us think. Because like, I make you think, just give me an answer. You may convince me, you may say something to me to make me believe that Kamala Harris knew when she graduated from high school that she would need to go to an HBCU so that she could have her black card. And I'm not even going to get into the fact that if you're mixed with Jamaican and Indian, why would you not embrace your Indian side also? But that's a whole different little topic, and I'm trying to stay on topic so I can group this stuff together. So I guess in summary of this little section, I'll say Tariq Nasheed blocked me because he's closed-minded And of course, I wish him the best, and I hope that one day he is able to interact with people on his level of intelligence and be able to interact with them without dismissing them when they pose questions or have opinions different than his. And one more thing, because here's the thing. He's very smart. And that's one of my things, like, he's very smart. I'm very smart too. But but I noticed that, and like people like him, he's smarter than most people. Let's just keep it real. I bet you if he took an IQ test, he would test on the higher echelons of IQ. And so then people who are more intelligent, when people who are less intelligent hear them speak and hear the things they say, just like my friend who not that my friend is not intelligent, he's just not on Tariq Nasheed's level of intelligence, right? So when he heard him speak, he's like, oh, yes, yes, yes. Like, that's me. Whenever I hear Cornel West speak, I can't even keep up. Like, my brain hurts. So I get it. So that's what's happening. But then the other part of Tariq Nasheed being so smart and so many people listening to him and taking what he says so like, oh my goodness, you're so great, is that when he gets with someone who is on his same level of intelligence, then it's hard if they don't have 100% agreement. Because now I've posed a question to you that you can't answer without sounding dumb. And I saw him do that. I'm not going to go back and look because I know how it'll take me forever, and I have, I want to talk to the camera. I saw his Nick Cannon interview, and he said something, I can't remember what it was. Darn it. I can't remember what it was. Okay, one day I may like put the little clip in and put like a voiceover commentary in, but I'm not going to do it now because I got to just, stick to the plan. But he said something that just wasn't true. It just wasn't true. And Nick Cannon just let it roll by. But it was because they were talking about so much. It's hard when your conversation is flowing to make you go back. But anyway, he blocked me, and I was like so heartbroken and hurt by it that I just couldn't even make my child's breakfast. Because of Tariq Nasheed. And I'm not gonna pour 40 out for him, but I will drink a 10. I'm gonna drink a 10 for our breakup because I respected you. I respected you. I unsubscribed. But it's okay, because I have other people who I can watch and who I may not disagree with, but who are able to recognize that sometimes people may not agree with every little thing that you say because you're not a god or a king, but they still would support you because they recognize that you have unique and intelligent points of view. Peace out, Tariq.
Don't get it wrong, it's my song. You can go and sing your song.